The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Are the Jets about to pull off a blockbuster night one of the draft? 9 days from right now. We'll talk about what Daniel Jeremiah predicts the Jets will do. Robby Sabo will join me. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Wish you could have been a Jet, Fernando.
Let's see what happens.
What's your message to the Jet fans in New York?
Jets, Jets.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. It is indeed the Jake Asman Show, presented by PrizePicks. Smash the like button and help us out. And, of course, if you aren't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. We are approaching 45,000 subscribers. As of this live show, we're at 44,966. So big thank you to everyone who's been here for every step of the way. Reminder, you can always check out the show, available in audio form on either Apple or Spotify. Big shout out to everyone who tunes in via the podcast each and every day. Let's say hello right now to our guy, Robby Sabo, the co-founder of JetX and JetsXFactor.com, also the co-host of the Underdog podcast with Jets legend Wayne Corbett. Robby, 9 days away from the NFL draft. I feel like most of us are just ready for it at this point because we've been in draft mode for a very, very long time.
Is the way it goes, my friend. It's it gets tiring after a while, no question. And it's almost there. When are you going to Pitt? When are you traveling down there? Over there?
Day before. So I guess 8 days from now.
Day before.
You still could join us. Big draft party, McFadden's.
I know. I missed the window. The deadline. They reminded me the deadline was late last week to be on the scene covering it, but I didn't get it in. Didn't get it in. So I'll probably be at the facility Thursday night, having fun with some of the
What?
Calm your freaky down.
Didn't get it in, huh? You dog.
I didn't say that.
10 o'clock in the morning. Jeez. Anyway,
I've been up
let's
for a
talk. Let's talk about what Daniel Jeremiah said when he joined Rich Eisen on a throwback Sports Center Sunday night. So they were going through Jeremiah's latest mock, and full disclosure, Robby, because I know you're going to lose your mind over this. Jeremiah has the Jets selecting David Bailey at 2. I know you're a staunch Arvell Reese guy, so we will get more of your thoughts on that in a bit. But just specifically with the Jets trading up here, this was Jeremiah breaking down the decision that he had in his mock for the Jets to go up in this mock. Again, Jeremiah has the Jets making a deal, moving up from 16 to number 7. Take a listen.
Mock draft at 7. Jeremiah Love is sitting out there. The Washington Commanders are sitting there at 7. Commanders fans are dreaming of seeing that Notre Dame Dynamo standing next to Jaden Daniels in every single offensive set. But you have the first surprising trade of the draft happening right here in the mock draft. The floor is yours.
Yeah, this is about an opportunity here for the New York Jets to move up, to be aggressive in this draft. They are loaded with picks in this year and next year. And when you look at the cost for them to go from 16 to 7, you're talking about their second round pick, a 4th round pick, and their 16th overall pick. So it's not that big of an ask. And a Washington team that needs some more picks, they're a little light, they don't have a 2nd round pick. So they slide back. The Jets come back up. They've already got David Bailey, and now they add Carnell Tate to team up with a fellow Ohio State Buckeye and Garrett Wilson. They have the ability, they have the capacity to be aggressive in this draft and come away with 2 of the top players. And they're another team that's looking specifically at that wide receiver spot.
Okay, so Carnell Tate in a trade up. Again, I'm going to put up the full trade courtesy of our guy, Boy Green. Robby, unmute your microphone and you tell me your thoughts on the New York Jets coming up from 16 to 7 with the Washington Commanders. They would trade pick 44 and pick 103 to be able to draft Carnell Tate from the Ohio State 7th overall?
A few thoughts. Number one, the old NFL primetime music on the money. Like that's a beautiful thing. Number two, Jeremiah now, we know what he did with calling a shot with Houston, Stroud, Will Anderson.
That's where my mind went. This is not the first time he's been calling for a big trade, and people are like, huh, really? And he ended up being right.
Correct. But where my mind also goes in conjunction is, what info is he possibly working off of? And is it the same source as the David Bailey at 2 source that got this party started, which, the entire world, except for Dane Brugler, that's the OG right there, and many others, or you too, you're among that group who still think it's Reese, are living right now. Is that from the same source? And if so, is he being led astray? I know this. Not a lot of teams want to trade up in this draft for an obvious reason. That the class is not that great, not just quarterback, but all together. And, I love Tate. I think Tate is wide receiver number 1 by far. Not by far, but, comfortably. I just don't know if I wouldn't be opposed to the deal. Let's put it that way. It depends on who might fall. Will Ione fall? Does he have a chance of falling? Will Lemon or Tyson be there at 16? Could Caleb Downs somehow be there at 16? And if I think any of those guys will fall at 16, I'm not making the deal. I'm holding on to my picks. I'm holding on to 44 and round 4. What was it? What was the number? 130? I forget.
103. So the Jets have 2 4th-round picks. One's a compensatory pick. The other is their own. Look, it's a steep price, but I do think
I'll put it that way.
I do think if they grade out these receivers and Tate is clearly above the other ones and they don't think they could stay at 16 and get the same quality player that they could have potentially having to move up, I would understand them doing this. I would. Like, the Jets need to figure out wide receiver. They've left themselves incredibly vulnerable with the lack of additions in free agency or trade up until this point. Last year, Garrett Wilson got hurt and they had nothing. We are in a very similar situation this year. Any chance of Geno Smith giving you a throwback, type of year, a 2015 Fitzpatrick season, ironically, that we're asking for, you got to stack the deck with weapons. Why did Fitz have that great year? Well, he had a great running game with Chris Ivory and Bilal Powell. He had Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker, Quincy Enunwa. Yeah. I think A.D. Mitchell could be your number 3. I think you got a quality tight end in Mason Taylor. Garrett Wilson's a number 1. You got Breece Hall. But I need a legit running mate for Garrett, and I think Carnell Tate is a perfect complement for what the Jets need. He's tall. He has outstanding body length. He's a guy that I think could play at all 3 levels. I think you could line him all over the field. I like him a lot. I think he's a really good fit. Now, if they think they could get someone at 16 like Jordan Tyson or Mekhi Lemon, okay, but you better trust your scouting. You better trust your ability to kind of figure out what other teams are doing in front of you, because if you miss out on a receiver at 16 and then you're kind of picking from the lesser pool of players, that might not be good enough for this year. And again, I want to set our team up for whoever the quarterback is in 2027 to be walking into an ideal situation. So if they, long answer, but if they think Carnell Tate's that guy and he's worth it, I'm okay with this. I would be aggressive. That's the point of having these extra picks.
Yeah, I mean, this is not like a Reese Bailey thing for me. I'm not opposed to it. I would consider it. I might even do it under the right circumstances, but it's not a home run. Let's put it that way. Because Tate, I like him. I think he's receiver 1 for me. I don't think he's special by way of explosiveness. I don't think there's that guy in this draft. And the way this draft shakes out, round 2 is the goods. Round 2 is where the good GMs are going to separate themselves from the bad GMs. And having those 2 picks early in the second is big time now, because no one's looking to trade up in the first half of the first round. Maybe it'll be cheaper, like we see with this draft in terms of value, but you lose the 4th round too. There are a lot of names: Brazel, Concepcion, Cooper. Where is he going to go? Can he potentially fall? Most likely not. Could one of the other 2, Lemon or Tyson, fall to 16? I would guess one of them will be there, but I'm not sure. So, Ted Hurst, Steven, I get it. I understand. And I'm very rarely one to say absolutely yes or absolutely no. And this falls into that category. It's not a home run for me.
There's a good chance Tate goes to the Browns at 6. And this is all a moot point.
Yeah.
But if Tate is there and he's their guy, yeah, like I would do this again. Like the Jets don't score points. There's no other way to describe it other than that. They're the only team since 1970 to rank in the bottom 10 in scoring and offensive yards in 10 straight years. Like, be aggressive, man. Playing it safe. Where has that gotten the Jets? Like, I just
now
be aggressive. Tate could be a legit star next to Garrett Wilson. I see that. I see the fit. I think he's the best receiver in the class, and I'm willing to be aggressive to get him.
I do too. I do too. I think he's the best receiver in the class, but at the same time, receiver is so deep. I think I'd rather
double up, sure,
but I think I'd rather if that option or the Brian Thomas Jr. option were on the table, I'd take Brian Thomas Jr. I'd go that direction instead.
So then you would be trading probably pick 44 to get him.
Yes.
I mean,
that's a slam dunk to me. Oh,
that would happen draft night then. That's a draft night deal. Yeah. Look, again, they need a receiver desperately because as much as people want to talk themselves into, the depth chart it's not good enough. It's not a professional depth chart outside of Garrett Wilson. And I'm an AD Mitchell fan, but again, we're talking about a guy with 22 or 23 catches in 8 games with the Jets. And we all understand the quarterback play is abysmal, but still, I think Geno's at least a professional quarterback. Give him a chance. Like, you want to have a fun season? Want to not be talking draft in September this upcoming year, Jet fans? Like, give Geno a chance. You got to get another weapon for him.
How do we feel about Denzel Boston? I mean, that's the true wild card here, honestly.
How do you feel about him?
None of these receivers really knock it out of the park for me. Even Tate, to a degree. I think he's definitely receiver 1 for me. But it's just they don't. None of them are extra special in terms of, man. He is a bona fide top half of the first round guy, where you see the explosiveness, you see the polish, and you feel good about him stepping into the NFL, reading defenses from jump. I think Tate will be fine. I think Lemon is the best in terms of between the ears, reading defenses, finding the soft spot, but even his explosiveness isn't that tremendous. And because it's so deep each year, receiver, tight end, everyone says it every year, it's always going to be this way. The way the game is played, you throw it all around the lot. O-line play, tough to find, especially thanks to the Big 12 air raid. Receiver, tight end, easy to find. Again, thanks to the Big 12 air raid and how open it is and 3-3-5 and all that good stuff. Because it's so deep, I'm really strict in terms of what I like in the top half of the first round for a receiver.
He's someone that I like in terms of Denzel Boston, but I don't like him at 16. That feels too early.
Yeah, me neither. No, it's not 16. He would have to be. Where's he getting mocked right now? Has he fallen? That's a good question. I don't even know.
All over the place. I mean, he's a first or a second round pick.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance he could fall to 33, 44.
He could be there at 33. But again, the Jets in their history of drafting players at that position in the second round, like it's why I'm very like I get it, new regime, all that, but just be aggressive. Go get a guy that I think is going to be good. Like what, other than Devin Smith, who of course the Jets drafted, over a decade ago, what recent Ohio State wide receiver wasn't at least solid at the next level early in the draft? Usually
great. And it's funny too, all these second round picks, unlike Darnold or, Frankie Louvu or some of the other guys they've gotten rid of, DeMario, none of them have panned out anywhere after the Jets, after life with the Jets. Have they? Mims and Elijah Moore. So it's even more salt onto the wound.
No, the Jets have not panned out at all with the D2 receivers.
No,
I mean,
you'd figure one of them, there's like 5 or 6 of them. You'd figure one of them would have a decent career somewhere else after leaving the Jets, but it hasn't happened.
Yeah. I mean, it's brutal. It really is. If you think about it, like Denzel Mims, like what is he playing in the UFL right now? I don't even know. Like Elijah Moore, a million teams.
Devin Smith.
Stephen Hill flamed out.
Stephen Hill. Man.
Corley. Where's Corley right now? Is he still in the Browns?
I keep forgetting about Corley because it's so recent. Hey,
well,
Jets fans always have Stephen Hill, Atlanta, Monday night or Sunday night, whatever that was with Geno. They'll have that game.
Geno Smith's first Or actually, you know what? It was the first game of the 2012 season. Sanchez started that game, and he threw the 2 touchdowns to Stephen Hill, and then that was like the last time we saw him.
For real? Which one am I thinking of? Cumberland, was it, with Geno in Atlanta?
Well, they won that game on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the Monday Night Football game. Maybe that wasn't the Stephen Hill game.
I think Jeff Cumberland did score a touchdown that night, so maybe that's what you're thinking of.
Maybe.
2013, fall of 2013, and then the Daily News headline the next morning was "A Star Is Born," which they did for Sanchez 5 years earlier in 2009. I remember. Comments, questions, super chats. They will cut the line. We're talking receiver today on the show, so give me the damn ball. I was about to say Wayne Corbett, but that would not be right. Keyshawn Johnson signed helmet is our raffle prize across our shows today. Gift an ASMANIAC membership to your fellow listener to enter or send in a $10 super chat or higher to qualify. Roster Dread before the show entered for 2. He wrote, "Can you hear me?" Max voice. Rasta, you are in the raffle for 2.
Can you hear me?
Well done, sir. Bino says, get ready for the bringer of achievement, Dave Brigga. That's right. This afternoon, Robbie, the highly anticipated Sweet 16 showdown between Dave Brigga and Gary 3D Boxing. This one is going to be one for the ages, they're saying.
How's Leanie doing? Is she still alive?
Leanie's alive. She's advanced to the Elite 8 in the tournament.
Dude, she is VCU. Davidson. Actually, I don't think Davidson got too far, did they? VCU, St. Mary's. She's doing something. She's making some damage.
St. Peter's, 16.
St. Peter's. That's it. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. Jersey.
Super chat from Jet's Eye View. Jake and Robbie, did you also see who Daniel Jeremiah predicts the Jets taking at 2? Bailey, not Reese, as I've been dreaming of, by the way. So Jet Eyes Views wants David Bailey.
Yeah.
Not Reese. Or am I not understanding a super chat? Either way, I know who you want the Jets to take, and that is Arvell Reese. But all the buzz lately has been about David Bailey. Give us your thoughts. David Bailey at 2 over Arvell Reese. How upset are you going to be draft night?
No, not upset at all. It's you don't get. I'll be more dumbfounded than upset. I'll just. What else can you expect? I still think I don't buy it. I still think it's going to be Reese. Dane Brugler said it best. Reese fits what Aaron Glenn likes most. Physical. He talked about being multiple. Today's NFL is about versatility on defense. You can't just have a one-track mindset, and you have to key in on your reads. And it's the box score scouts who overwhelmingly love Bailey as opposed to Reese because you see the stats. You see him flashing across the screen. But when you watch Reese, he did exactly what he was asked to do and did it at a high level and got his beyond that. So he fits Glenn. If they take Bailey, my first thought is, oh, man, Glenn is not the final decision maker, and it's cemented. The wild card here, and this is where my mind keeps going, Glenn, Texas boy, loves those Texas boys. Reich, Stanford, as you discussed on the show a couple times, does he have the inside track with Bailey? But I don't think that's enough. That's not nearly enough evidence as the other way around, in which just all around package, all around player. See, Jake, it doesn't make sense to me. I keep hearing projection and hybrid, and those are the 2 words that scare Jets fans the most. And whoever drafts Reese has to have a plan where Bailey's the more sure thing. It's a counterintuitive mindset. How is the more complete player in need of more of a plan as opposed to the guy who's more one-dimensional? If someone could answer that for me, I'd love to hear the answer because it just doesn't make sense to me. With Bailey, if you're going to play him on rushing downs, you have to use action. You have to slant him inside. You have to scrape exchange. You can't play it straight up because he can't hold up at the point of attack. With Reese, you could put him anywhere. You have that chess piece, which is modernizing the Jets defense, something they desperately need. Look at Mike McDonald's defense in Seattle last year. And you could play it any way you want. You could use action. You could slant him. You could have him anchor down the edge. You could use him in space, bubble screens and flat to curls and all that good stuff and RPOs. So I don't agree with the plan, and I don't agree with the whole premise that Bailey's safer. He's not. He's the guy who needs more of a plan because he has to be sporadically inserted into the game, whereas Reese could play any situation.
How quickly can Reese become an elite pass rusher? Right? Because if you're taking a guy at 2, ultimately that's what he's going to have to do to be paid like a guy who's drafted 2nd overall.
He could be an elite pass rusher by midseason. I think he could even show elite flashes early. I think we overrate this elite pass rusher. You got to have multiple moves and a plan in terms of pass rush. It's not nothing, it's something, but I think we overrate it, especially where the game is going in terms of defense. You look at Seattle very rarely where they're guys rushing one-on-one. The modern defensive coaches don't do that. It's more about structure. It's more about multiple roles. Do you remember when Josh Allen killed the Jets in week 2 last year? Sherwood was supposed to spy. He went down the wrong lane. He just stuck his nose. He sniffed the wrong area, and he was supposed to be the spy, and Josh Allen ran 40 yards. That's Orville Reese. That's Orville Reese shutting that down. So when people mock QB spying or other roles as opposed to pass rushing, you just lost. Pass rushing is just one of so many, an infinite number of responsibilities that each defender, one of 11, needs to do on the field. So that on top of just everything he brings to the table, it's just he's a complete player, and he's, to me, number 2 this year was a blessing for the Jets the way it shook out, because the class is not that great and Reese is the exception.
So you really believe in Reese? Like this guy?
Oh yeah,
like he's
absolutely.
I like it. Get us excited.
It's not just the raw athletic traits. It's smarts. It's instincts. When you see the play on tape develop and unfold, you go back and you see, okay, what were his keys? What was the defensive coordinator, Patricia, asking him to do? And you go through, you start it again. Okay. If he's on the edge, 5-man front, he drops down to the edge. When they play 5-1, 5 down, 3-3-5, whatever. 4-man front, he's back there with Styles. It varies play by play. And the fact that he keys in on his reads and is so responsible each situation in a hybrid way, beyond impressive for his age. So that's just on top of the raw physical traits and how heavy his hands are and how freakish he is. Yeah, I think he's the exception to the rule in this class.
So how do the Jets use him in year 1? And like, do you trust Aaron Glenn and this coaching staff to be creative enough to find the best ways to use Orville Reese?
Yes, based on the Detroit tape, yes. But even if they weren't creative enough, you're still going to be comparing Reese versus Bailey. You wouldn't take the lesser player just because the coach isn't good enough to maximize them. You know, like let's say this. Let's say Tate was the coach. You put Bailey on the field and put Reese on the field every down. Reese is the better player by far without any coaching. This is my point. Like the angle right now for why they might take Bailey makes no sense. He's not the more complete player, and it's not close. And the more complete player needs less of a plan. And can someone tell me why I'm wrong in that regard? And if they can, I'll listen.
Jedi View says, Robbie, if Bailey ends up 2026 Defensive Rookie of the Year, would you sign up?
Yeah, and then I'll shoot the pig out of the sky that's flying overhead.
What is Bailey as a rookie?
Let me put this. Bailey could win Defensive Rookie of the Year if he goes to, if somehow something crazy happens and he drops to Seattle and Seattle drafts him and deploys him in a 3rd down package and he picks up, double-digit sacks. But here's the thing. Defenses face on average 11 to 13 3rd downs per game. 3rd and longs where you're rushing a passer, it's a handful. It's anywhere from 3 to 5 of 60. So he could get the awards because sacks equals awards and sacks equals perception. So for him to have that, for that to happen, he has to go to the right situation.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Henny Heisman in the house. Does Tyson make it to 16? And would you take him? How do you feel about Jordan Tyson?
He's the prototype, the body, the athleticism that I do like in the 1st round. And he just scares me way too much. I'm not out on him. He's absolutely a consideration. But he is at 16. He's right there where I just don't have an answer right now. Honestly, if I were in Muji's and Glenn's shoes, have you been sold in terms of taking him at 16 without hesitation?
There's definitely hesitation because we're talking about a player that has had some injury problems in college. I mean, look, the good is really good, right? Like he's explosive. He kind of has a lot of Garrett Wilson, ironically, to his game. Like he can play inside, he can play outside. I know Dane Brugler compared him to Stephon Diggs. Like I see some of that when I watch him. I like the player, but it's the Jets and the guy who's had some injuries in college. Like it's a bit of a risk to take him. I don't even think he'll be there at 16 because the talent is probably too good. But I mean, the injury history, he missed the final 3 games when he was at Colorado with a left knee injury. Then he goes to Arizona State. He redshirted, missed most of the season rehabbing. Year 2 at Arizona State, so that's 2024. He missed the final 2 games with a left collarbone injury. And then 2025, he missed 3 games with a hamstring. So, like, he's just dealt with some injuries, like, each year of his football life, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I heard the Samini on Jets Collective, check it out, talk about JSN. The Jets are worried about his injury.
Yep.
But I don't even remember. Was JSN's injury history extensive, or was it just the hammy at the time?
I think it was just a hamstring problem.
Okay, I'll try to look it up real quick. But if it was just a hammy at the time and at that moment, that season, then it's very different from Tyson. I think we have to acknowledge that. But it might not be. Maybe JSN had an injury history as well, and I could certainly understand that. The hard part with me at Tyson at 16 is if someone else fell, like Ione or Downs, which I don't think is going to happen, obviously. But I think, this might be blasphemy because they need receiver so much, but I think I would take Ione or Downs ahead of Tyson at 16.
I would probably roll the dice with Tyson. Downs is tempting because Downs is so good. Why is he there at 16 though?
That's a good question. That's a good question. He's small. He doesn't have the size. You had the rumors about his knees. We don't know what's true.
Which teams would be able to vet at that point?
Yeah. It's I'm just trying to put hypotheticals into my mind to get off the hook with Tyson at 16. I don't know. I just think Ione and Downs would be higher on my big board than Tyson, which gets me off the hook.
If you came away with Reese and Tyson night 1, that's the ultimate upside swings at both spots.
I don't hate it. Now, Lemon or Tyson, who would you take at 16 if both are there?
Lemon. Mekhi Lemon's my favorite. I just think Tate's the safest and the cleanest. That's the guy I trade out for.
Yeah. I'm undecided.
The Rooster in the raffle for 4. Shout out to you, Rooster. You'll get your Joe Namath helmet this week. Congrats again on winning that. I love Reese. The only thing that is bothering me is the lack of recovering fumbles or creating turnovers. Frankie V is right about that, and it's more concerning than the lack of sacks, which can be explained. So you watched all the snaps that Reese took, Robbie. Can you explain the lack of turnovers created from Arvell Reese?
Yeah, I mean, they had a very talented team, and he was asked to do a lot of different things. What were the difference in fumbles between Reese and Bailey this past year? 1 and 0? What was
Let's
it?
see. Arvell Reese had 0 forced fumbles, 2 pass defense, and then let's compare that to Bailey. David Bailey, let's see. Bailey this past year had 3 forced fumbles and 3 pass defense.
Yeah, Bailey, his pass defenses were, I think, Oregon, he had 1 or 2, which were impressive. One of them was he was going down the line. He gave up on pass rushing and then kind of strafed the line of scrimmage, and it was a good heads-up play. I'll say this: when you have one job and you're on the edge, and you just have that one-track mindset, and you don't play in structure, you better have the stats. And that's the greatest difference between Bailey and Reese. Reese played in structure, keyed in on his keys, and giving up his body to fill hard from the second level and or from the edge in terms of anchoring, you're not going to pick up stats. And it's going to go way over a lot of people's heads.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, your super chats, they will cut the line. Keyshawn Johnson signed helmet is our raffle prize across the shows today. So look, you got to be in it to win it. Gift the membership or send in a super chat, $10 or higher to qualify. Before we get more into the conversation with our guy, Robby Sabo, let's talk about our sponsor, IndaCloud. You know what's underrated? Actually enjoying your downtime instead of feeling drained by it. That's why I've been loving IndaCloud as things start picking up again. More shows. We got the draft next week, playoffs for the Knicks, everything going on in the world of sports. IndaCloud makes unwinding easy. It's fully legal online cannabis. It is a cannabis dispensary. They have gummies, premium flower, pre-rolls, and my personal favorite, the zero sugar THC sodas. I'll tell you this. If you're doing this show, if you're dealing with all the madness that is being a Jet fan, this thing is awesome. No alcohol, no sluggish feeling, just a smooth way to unwind and stay sharp. Everything's lab tested. So check it out yourself. If you're 21 or older, all you need to do is go to indacloud.co. Use my code ASMAN. You'll get 35% off your first order and free shipping on orders over $50. Again, that's indacloud.co. Code ASMAN at checkout. Don't forget to fill out the quick survey after checkout to support the Jake Asman Show. Enjoy responsibly. Links in the description. Shout out to IndaCloud for being one of our awesome sponsors. Robbie, if Ty Simpson makes it to 33, are you pulling the trigger?
If it depends who I grabbed at 16. Did I get a receiver? Do I like one of the receivers there? It's tough, man. I would be. It depends on the board, but I wouldn't be opposed to it.
I think they're going to do it if he's there.
You think so?
How about that?
No matter who's on the board.
Well, if they do the trade up, here's my thing. I think if Muji trades up, it'd be wise for him to trade out of 33 if you can, because then you can recoup part of what you're giving up to go get Carnell Tate, and then you can maybe get that 3rd round pick. So then you'd have a 2nd round pick, a 3rd round pick. You still would have a pick in the 4th. Because right now, if you look at it, the Jets, they don't pick from after 44 until 103. And if they're making this trade up, they don't have 44 and they don't have 103 anymore. That's a long time to go before you pick again. So I think you almost have to have a plan to trade out of 33. That's the one caveat.
Yeah, I like that a lot better. If they're going to trade up for Tate at 7, I like that a lot better, 100%. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that.
Because think about it. If you're trading 16 and 103, like Jeremiah suggested to go with 44, obviously, then you only would have 2, 33, 140. You need picks. Move back 10 spots out of 33 and then get a 3rd. So then there's less of a gap between your last selection in the 40s and then a 140 of round 4.
That's right, because 103 is gone. Yeah, I could do the Tate trade up a lot easier. It'll be a lot easier if we trade down 33. Agreed.
Yep.
And again, Simpson, I like Simpson. I really do. I like Simpson.
I just watched him on the Gruden QB camp this morning, and that's a very entertaining watch.
I got to check it out. I love Simpson. Actually, I should say I love Simpson because I like him a lot more than the consensus right now, but still just, I'm not taking him at 16. I just don't feel, if they take him, would I lose my mind? No, I wouldn't. But it's not what I would try to do. I'm looking for more impactful players immediately right now.
Super chats, cut the line. Lou B checks in. Robbie, who's better, Jeremiah Love or David Bailey?
Jeremiah Love.
Who would you rather them take it to, David Bailey or Jeremiah
Love?
Really?
Oh my God.
You really don't like Bailey at all.
Well, no, it's like I want to take the better player.
It's a running back, though.
Yeah. Does it fit positional wise? No, it's a terrible fit positional wise, but I'm taking the better player.
And then what?
Then I have Jeremiah Love.
And what about Brees?
I have Brees and Jeremiah Love. I'm not going to take a guy who I think is really in the terrible spot in the draft just because of position. I wouldn't do it. I would take Bain over Bailey. Now, with the hope maybe he can gain some weight. Maybe I could put him on the inside a little bit. Let me try to go to the big board. So Styles, I would take him over him. Downs for sure. Who did we just talk about? Tate for sure. Love, yes, absolutely. Bane, absolutely. And that's Ione too. I guess that's it. Lemon would be a reach. Tyson would be a reach. So I think that would be the big board if I had to. Or maybe one of the corners. It's about there, though. That's what it looks like.
Jedi wrote in, Robbie examines Reese tape better because when he gets to the quarterback, he never even attempts to swipe the ball, which isn't what an elite edge does.
Wasn't okay.
Would you agree or disagree with this statement?
I think it's completely ridiculous. He didn't play pass rush. Let's put it this way: switch Reese and Bailey in the situations and teams last year, and just this is what you do. If you switch them, you tell Reese, okay, don't worry about responsibility. Just do whatever you have to do. Slant inside, slant outside, just freelance. Just do your thing. That's the equivalent of what Bailey did this past year, pretty much. There was no structure within that defense. So would he be swiping at balls when pass rushing the quarterback in that situation? A lot more. It'll be a lot more noticeable for the box score scouts and broadcast scouts. I'll say that.
Frankie V's cousin, JetNation_NYC, writes in, Robbie hates David Bailey because he doesn't set the edge versus the run. Laughing my ass off.
I mean, watch flag football, my friend. Stick to flag.
So if they take David Bailey and he comes up to you and he goes, I know you can't stand me. How can I win you over? What would you tell
him? Care about run defense.
Run defense is important.
Care about.
Is he that bad against the run, though?
Terrible.
Because I've heard mixed things on this.
Yeah, they're wrong. He can't hold up at the point of it. See, why people are confused about this is because...
Who's worse, McDonald or him? Projecting, of course, to the next level.
That's tough because they were kind of both in the same system where you heard 5-tech, 4-eye. You heard that a lot. Iowa State, McDonald played the 4-eye. Remember Salah on the phone when they drafted him. We're going to get you on the edge, wide 9, have you play there because you played a lot of 4-eye 5 like Bailey did. And the reason why you put that guy there over the tackle is so you could use action with him. Slant inside, crash, slant outside to replace him. Do all these games and stunts up front that you could only do pretty much in college or more so in the Big 12. At the NFL level, you have to play things straight up sometimes in base. You can't have action all the time against the run. You just can't do it. And if you ask him to play straight up at the point of attack, it's as bad as you'll ever see a first-round pick play at the point of attack. The reason why a lot of people think he's good against the run or decent or could hold his own is because when he makes plays in action, slanting inside, outside, crashing, doing something where there's a play on where they have him first step inside, do something where it's an elaborate play up front. And in the NFL, you can't always have elaborate plays on. You have to play straight up. And when you play straight up run defense with him, no shot. He won't be playing balanced downs this year. He won't. He'll be a third down guy.
Leon makes an interesting point. Jets run defense has Sweat, Anabari, Davis, Osai, Onyemata. Team has definitely addressed run defense. Pass rush, ...
No. Yeah, but the Jets defense doesn't have impactful elite players that could do more than one thing. Get the guy who could do more than one thing.
And that to you, of course, is Arvell Reese. Let's see. There was another one I wanted to get to here. Jet Nation checks in. Asked Robbie how Texas Tech had the #1 rush defense in all of college last year. They gave up 2.2 yards per carry, best in the nation, and Bailey was second in college football in run stops.
Yeah, and Tim Tebow won the Heisman. What's your point? Talk football. Tell me what he does well in terms of run defense. Don't give me stats. Tell me.
It's going to be great to follow the career of Reese and Bailey, regardless who the Jets end up taking. because either you or Frankie V will be hearing it from the other side, depending on how it plays out. Or they might both be awesome, as I've suggested.
I mean, again, we'll see what happens. It's not when you look at the tape, it's so easy to see. Again, Bailey, listen, I would draft him, just not at second overall, mid first. He's more where McDonald was.
Would you take him at 16?
Yes. 100%.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Let's get to some calls on the GUSTBUSTER Umbrella Hotline. For those of you tuning in late, Keyshawn Johnson signed helmet is our raffle prize on the shows today. Signed Darrelle Revis football, signed Garrett Wilson helmet, and a signed Wayne Krebet football are the prizes in our weekly raffle on Saturday. For those just tuning into our show for the first time this week, super chat from Addison. We'll hit this and then we will get right to your calls. Addie writes in, if you could put any former Jet on this team right now, who would you pick and why? Disregard their timeline with the team. Can we get Aaron Rodgers, but at the beginning of his career? No, I mean, look, if we're going to have to obviously like add some context, like the bulk of their career was with the Jets. Like we're not going to put Ronnie Lott on this team and be like, oh, we have Ronnie Lott, or I think
Art Monk.
Right. I think you have to pick Namath, do you not? Like you need a quarterback.
Yeah.
You need a franchise quarterback.
You have to pick Namath. Aside from Namath, aside from quarterback is the real interesting question though. And that would be, who would I go with?
Revis, maybe? Klecko?
Revis was the first name to come to mind, but then I thought, man, I don't think there's such a thing as a cover corner today. So he'd still be great. Don't get me wrong. But who would rival him? Maybe Klecko. His size fits today better, interestingly enough, than it did.
I think it has to be a quarterback because it's the most important position in
for
sports.
Sure.
And like and again, Namath playing with these rules where they couldn't touch him in modern medicine, he would be healthy. He'd be moving around. He'd be able to have a proper ACL surgery that actually worked.
Or Don Maynard, receiver, like if it wasn't the quarterback. And it kind of does. It feels like it doesn't fit because receivers from the 60s are so much different than today.
Yeah.
But that would probably be number 2. Revis maybe number 3.
Yeah, if you remove Namath because it's just too important of a position, I think there's an argument for like Klecko, prime Mark Gastineau.
Yeah, Mangold.
Revis, obviously. Yeah, Mangold's great, but is a center valuable enough where you'd want to do it?
Yeah, true.
I mean, Maynard's great. Altoon, someone wrote. Yeah, Altoon.
Toon would be nice opposite Garrett.
Kevin wrote last year's Sam Darnold.
Last year, that Clint. I can't wait. You know what? I can't wait to see Clint Kubiak with Mendoza and the Raiders. That's fascinating to me to see how that works.
I think Mendoza is the type of guy that is such a bookworm, and also it was smart that they got Cousins there. He's played in that system.
Very smart. Very smart.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Let's get to your calls, shall we? The Doc is first up today on the program. Doc Jet fan, what do you have for us? Hello, Doc.
Good morning. Thanks for taking the call. You know, it's ironic that we're talking about this DJ breaking news now. My very first call to you in mid-January when the season was over was 16-44 to move up for Lemon or Tate. When you talk about the wide receiver room, let's extend the conversation. Let's talk about the pass catchers. Dom C hit on a really important point on Saturday. He's so good. He's such an encyclopedia.
Dom C's the man, dude.
He really does know his stuff. We were talking about, the knock on Mason Taylor, and not that he's not a terrific, young guy, but even in college, he never stretched the field. He was a possession tight end type. Yep. And picture the Jets coming up with a guy like Tate, we'll say, would be perfect complement to Garrett, and then getting a tight end that can stretch the field later on, like in the 4th round. You would know who the guys are way better than I do. But I really want to make the argument, and Rich Cimini hated this on Jets Collective. If you love Tate, I'm not letting Cleveland pick him at 6. I'm not going for Mekhi Lemon. I'm not going to wait for Jordan Tyson to drop to 16. If you love Tate and you can be satisfied still moving up and come up with one of the Ohio State guys like Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles at, say, 7. How does that not make sense? Like, if you love Tate. you're still coming away with two potential game changers. You know, you're coming up with, I think he's going to be a real good wide receiver, at least, you know, like a Tate guy. And you're going to wind up with a game changer on defense in Sonny Styles or Caleb Downs. Does that not make sense? Is it as ridiculous as Rich was implying?
What was it again? I missed the first part. So
the
trade
first
up.
part is I'd take Tate too if I love him.
Gotcha.
Again, I'm not a scout, but if I say, look, that he's the only guy that's 6'3" and he's a good blocker, you know, apparently, and if he's the guy I love, why do I have to wait? Why do I have to hope Cleveland doesn't take him at 6? Because I don't think he can move up to 5, not with, you know, without giving up a lot more draft capital.
Yeah, and it's not crazy. I wouldn't do it. Reese is the dude I would take, but Blewett asked me, gun to your head, time's running out. If you can't take Reese and you can't trade down, who would you take at 2? And Tate would be my answer as well.
Okay, because Robbie, you know, I like some of the conversation you've had about Glenn having, you know, old school thinking to his detriment. And I've heard Glenn in the last few weeks, you like a player, you take a player, like a player, you take a player, no matter what, you know, position aside. And that is, by the way, economic disaster. And I'll tell you why. The Jets with the second pick are going to dedicate $53 million to that play over the next 4 years. Okay. The first year it's $9 million. Second year it's 12, $14.5 million year 3, $16.6 million year 4. Year 3 and 4, if you take a running back, they're already at the absolute top of the market. And if you want to win a Super Bowl at any point, I know that to me, that's the only goal. Nothing else matters. It's why you should take your shots. You've got to find players that outplay their contract by a lot. You know, I can't have a $16 million running back who may or may not be the best. And it's also why you can't pick Sonny Styles there too, by the way. Sonny Styles, he may be the odds-on favorite for Rookie of the Year, but you know who the best paid linebacker is right now? It's Fred Warner. He's making $21 million a year. That's it.
Yeah, listen, I totally agree. You're 100% right. It's just there's one thing missing from the equation. Would you rather draft edge, which is a value salary cap-wise, Vernon Golston, or Jeremiah Love?
Neither. At 2, neither.
But you have to weigh what you just said, which is 100% true, against how you think the player is going to play in the NFL. You have to keep that part of it intact into the equation.
Fair enough, but there's other options. I don't need to take either a running back or a guy who I don't think. And I agree with you on Bailey. You know, one of the main reasons I don't want Bailey is, are you going to trade Will McDonald? Because if you're not, you know, you have 2 guys that are going straight for the quarterback and have no containment outside the sidelines at all. Like, is he a good fit with Will McDonald? I think Reese would be much better.
But the argument would be, okay, Osai and Enagbare play base, the 2 edges, and then Bailey and McDonald play sub, the 2 edges. The problem is, again, there's only 3, 4, 5 third and long situations a game out of 60 plays. You know, we over romanticize this pass rushing stuff. We really do. And especially in today's game, you know, 15 years ago, it was still intact in terms of that value. I really think it's waned in a big way.
No, I hear you. I guess we'll see what happens. But again, you know, we've blown it out of the water taking Tate at 2. I would be okay with Tate at 2 and Caleb Downs at 7 or 8 or 9. But I guess, you know, everybody's got their preference at this point. Let's just see it happen.
Yeah, Rick? I don't think Tate it's not ideal Tate at 2, but I don't think it's crazy.
Thanks for your time, guys.
Doc, great call. Look, Samini vehemently disagree with it as Doc reference. But
Tate at 2, I saw it. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but again, it's a weird draft.
It is. It's just,
and the Jets,
great.
They need to score points, man. Like, we've done the defensive thing so many times.
And the other thing with Love, he's not just a running back too. He's a weapon. Like,
they said that about Reese, though. Listen, no one knows how to use him.
Look, I get it. I would not want to draft Love. I'm on board with all you guys. You guys just strapped me down to a chair and put a gun to my head and made me choose.
I'm anti-Love at 2, though. I can't take a running back at 2.
I get it.
Super chats cut the line. Frankie Castle has been a channel member for 31 months. Frankie Castle, my man. Tate at 2 trade up for a defender to ensure that wide receiver. If there's any possibility Brees gets traded, that also has picks. Tie at 33. I don't think they're going to trade Brees. I think the only way they would trade Brees is if they took Jeremiah Love. I don't see happening.
Yeah, me neither. I'm the thing other than trade down, trade up activity. The thing I'm holding out hope for is Brian Thomas, the veteran receiver. That deal or veteran receiver at a left field type deal, like a Brandon Marshall.
I would love for them to be able to trade out of 2. I just, again, I don't know where that's happening.
It just depends where, how far, and where. I don't see it happening. And as much as I love Reese, I'm not opposed to trading down out of 2. It's not my first option. My first option is grab Reese. But I would talk. I would absolutely field phone calls. I just don't see who wants it. Who would come up?
NYC to SRQ. It's our guy Cash Money Mike, who you met in Tampa. He writes in, Doc with the stats. Jake, you should have Doc as a weekly guest. He knows his stuff. Huge fan. Great call, Doc. I think Doc would give Kyle Clifton a run for his money in the tourney. Go Jets. Best show. Thank you, NYC. And I think Doc Jet fan is an excellent caller. Will be a tremendous addition to the tournament.
His name is ripe for Gator to create an intro, by the way.
I love having him on because I always introduce him with, what's up, Doc?
Yeah, dude.
Little nod to my Bugs Bunny fans out there.
The animation, Gator, the wheels are spinning in his head this very moment. I guarantee you.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Appreciate everyone who's tuned in today. 9 days to go, folks, till the draft. We are almost there. Ted Ruggiero. What's up, Ted? He's in the raffle for 4. Thank you very much. He writes in, trade to 7. What if Down, Styles, and Tate are all available? Any change of plan on receiver? As much as I really do like the other 2 Ohio State defenders, I'm only trading up to fill the void that they've had for years now at wide receiver 2. Like that to me is what I'm doing if I'm moving up. I really like Caleb Downs. I love Sonny Styles. In fact, if you told me the Jets took him at 2, I wouldn't be that upset. I just don't think you could trade multiple picks for a defensive player that's not a pass rusher. I think you have to trade up.
He'd have to have
a receiver, which I view as a premium position now in today's NFL when guys are making $42 million a year at the top, and Alec Pierce, who's a nice player, is making close to 30.
It's insane. To trade up for a defensive player, he'd have to have that chance to be all-world special, which I think Reese is in that class.
It had to be what the Texans gave up to go up and get Will Anderson 2 years ago,
right?
3 years ago,
right? And by the way, not everyone was on board with Will Anderson.
No, I was doing radio in Houston at that time. That was a big debate.
Correct. It's I agree with you. I totally agree.
M123 says, who will be as good as Dobbs at 16? I love you, Asmaniacs. Romeo Dobbs? As Doobs. Which player are you referring to here? M123. Chad, help me out.
Doobs.
I mean, I think there's a lot of players
Downs?
in this class who'd be better than Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah, was he saying Downs?
Maybe he means Downs. I'm not sure. Doc Jet fan with a super chat. He's in the raffle for 2. Forgot to mention JSN missed 10 games his senior year.
Right.
After a grade 2 hamstring game. Won in 2022 against Notre Dame in the opener. Year before he had 1,600 yards receiving without any other injuries.
Okay.
There's more injury concern, though, with Tyson than JSN.
So it's basically just the 1 year for JSN is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yep. I get it. 1 year, you could live with 1 year. It's different. It's a little different for sure.
He meant Romeo Dobbs, by the way. I think Tyson, I think Tate, Lemon, even Cooper are better players than Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah, Dobbs is he's professional. He's workmanlike.
He's a low end too, where these guys, I think their floor is to be a number 2.
Yeah, and he wears the Martian helmet from Looney Tunes. Listen, I would take Dobbs on my team, obviously, but yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Dave Brigga's in the chat. He says he will call in when Gary appears. Everyone is ready for that showdown this afternoon. One punch, Dave Brigga. Gary 3D boxing. Who knows how many burner accounts are being made? It's going to be a wild one.
Oh, he made burners? I didn't know they were burners.
No, the Gary supporters. There was some voter fraud allegations.
I knew that. I knew the voter fraud, but I didn't know it was. I thought he was just multiple voting.
Well, people made accounts to vote twice.
Oh, I misunderstood. I think you could just vote twice from the same account, like after a period of time or something. I got you.
One vote per YouTube account.
Wow.
It was a huge controversy, a controversial topic on my show the past week and a half.
Yeah, no, I remember Black Gypsy challenging him and talking about it last week, but I misunderstood. That's a step far. That's definitely a step far. I agree. Black Gypsy, you're onto something.
Black Gypsy, Dave Brigga, Mr. Bonesy. First, Dave Brigga gets a chance to beat Gary. If he can't, it will be the winner of Bonesy and Black Gypsy during my show tomorrow.
Look at that. And Bonesy's the defending champ, right?
That's correct. Yeah, the bracket's really coming together here. Take a look. The left side, Elite Eight is already set. Today we do Gary and Brigga. Tomorrow, Bonesy and Gypsy. Thursday, Gorman and Big Cho. Friday, PPM, Peg and Artie. All matchups during the second show of the day.
Who's the 1 seed in Dangerous? Oh, Beast.
Who else other than the Beast?
Okay, Dangerous. What was it? Grown ass man region. What was that again?
That's the Charles Gorman region.
That's the best name.
Grown ass man. You know where that stems from, right?
Maybe, I don't know. What?
Stand by. Hold on. Let me pull this up. It stems from. Where is this? See if I can find the clip for you. I just typed in Charles on my database here, and there's so many.
I'm 40. I'm a man.
I believe this is it.
My fellow New York Jets fans, it is about time I come and tell you, consider the fact that the New York Jets continue to give us the same abominable product year in and year out, I'm officially boycotting this fucking franchise. I have chosen to adopt the Indianapolis Colts as my team this year because they're playing very good football, they're listening to their coach, they're not making stupid decisions. There are certain fans of mine that are calling me a traitor, but guess what? I don't care. I'm a grown-ass man. For anyone, including my friend Jake Asman, tough titties. Anyways, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.
Tough Titties was also under consideration for the bracket name as well.
First time in recorded history, someone said grown-ass man and tough titties in the same paragraph.
That's why, despite briefly quitting the Jets, he's still Charles Gorman, number 1 seed.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm not awake enough yet to this is good stuff, man.
Grown-ass man, the name of the region, very easily could have been Tough Titties. Amazing.
So good.
Ralphie Rocks checks in. He says, it is easier for Reese to have to only deal with one side of the field at edge versus sideline to sideline at middle linebacker. He's asking, is it easier?
It depends on what the guy's skill set is. You know what I mean? If he were mine and I was the DC, he'd be edge. He'd be edge from jump. He'd be the jack in a 3-4. We heard Aaron Glenn say it's multiple. Yeah, it's multiple. Going to play 4 down front. But he'd be the jack in a 3-4. That's the weak side linebacker. So 3-4, think of it as an over or an eagle or an Okie where there's 5 down, 2 behind him. So it's DeMario and Sherwood on the second level. He's the edge. He's the full-time edge. Now, on third downs, if you're playing against a mobile quarterback, you could move him around a little bit. You could leave him at edge, leave him at jack to rush the passer, or you could get Sherwood off the field and put Reese next to DeMario on the second level. 4-2-5 nickel, Osai and McDonald at the edges. It could be a 3-3 stack. It could be a mint. There's a lot of different ways. And if you have Reese and DeMario on the second level, Reese could mug the A-gap. He could be the green dog, that 5th rusher. You ever see you see, it's not a blitz, but green dogs are really popular in the last 10 years or so because late releases with the running backs, and more importantly, the quarterback scrambling and breaking your back for yards. So say it's a 4-2-5 nickel, 4 down, Reese on the second level with the Mario, and it's a cover one spy. Reese would be that fifth rusher. He could mug the A gap. He could stay standing second level, and his responsibility is the quarterback. And he just kind of delays it, stalks the QB, makes sure the contain with the 4-man rush is solid. If it's not solid, if one of them breaks down and it's not even, it's not gap integrity, then he could make up for it one way or the other. And if the quarterback tries to escape, he takes him out. If the quarterback hangs tough, he rushes the passer. There's so many different things you could do in terms of his versatility that it's just, you need guys like that. At each position, you need versatile defenders. That's what this game is turning into.
Rick Kent with a super chat. First time Charles said I'm a grown-ass man was when you interviewed him as he left the meetup at the Mexican restaurant. Leaving Don Jose's. So that, I guess, was the first time he said it. Then he said it again in his...
What happened at Don Jose's?
Well, it was an exit interview with Gorman. Let me see if I can find it out. Robbie, hold on. I got to go through all my shows.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it. I just don't remember because I'm a dumbass. But...
No, you definitely have seen it. It's a classic Charles being Charles moment. Let me see. So many Gorman clips. So little time. Stand by. Ladies and gentlemen, I found it. Enjoy. We're here with Charles Gorman. Charles, you're about to get into your Uber, which I called for you specifically to leave Don Jose Mexican restaurant. Give us the breakdown on the night. Did you have fun?
I had a good time. People were very nice. The food is good. I'm sorry I couldn't stay for long. My parents wanted me to be home at a certain time. I know I'm a grown-ass man, but their house, their rules. If you guys want to, do something like this, I'll try to come to it. Anyways, have a good day and stay healthy and God bless.
Charles, thank you for the time.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, there he goes. Charles Gorman, everybody. One of one. A legend of our time. Go Jets. God bless America. Grown-ass man, Charles Gorman.
That was like a post-game NBA Finals interview. Like he was not messing around. And God, those jerseys hideous.
Oh,
Jeez.
so bad. Ted wrote in, he never paid for his food. This is true. Gorman just left. Walked right out.
That's what legends do, dude.
I ended up picking up the tab for Chuck that night.
There's so few legends in this world, and when a legend just ghosts a dinner without even with no urgency whatsoever, just doing a post-game Super Bowl interview, no urgency, and ghosts the tab, that's a legend.
Charles Gorman, everybody, one of the greats. HXC Dude checks in. 2 Styles, 16 Tyson, 33 Pignon, 44 Young. Thoughts and how realistic is this? I don't think they're taking Styles at 2 HX, so I don't think that's realistic. 16, 33, and 44 all are possibilities.
What were 33 and 44? I missed the 33.
Pignon from Oregon and then Zion Young from Missouri.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, Tyson 16, I'm not opposed to it. That's one where me and Blewett sort of disagree on. Like, I understand what he's saying about Tyson. I'm not huge on him, but I like the explosiveness. Like he's got that in a down class. He has that mid-round explosiveness I like. Styles at 2. No, he only had 1 forced fumble last year. I can't do it.
I like Styles. I just don't want him at 2. I'd love him in a trade down.
Was that too sarcastic? The 1 forced fumble?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. We are all caught up on the super chats. So, Robbie, I will end with this question to you. Who do you like this afternoon? Dave Briga or Gary 3D Boxing?
How close was Gary's last match? Was it by the skin of his teeth or what?
Oh, yeah, as close as it could be. It was 50-50 going into the raffle, and then a late push put him over the top, 51-49.
Under normal circumstances, I would say Briga, because Gary is the heel. He's the heel right now. We know it. But sometimes the heel puts in work. So I'll bet on Gary putting in work.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robby Sabo's official pick. Dun, dun, dun. Robbie, you're the man. When is the next Underdog podcast with Wayne Corbett dropping?
I don't know. That's a good question. We'll the next one's going to have him look at the receivers. So I got to create some clips for that. So, yeah, check out Jets X Factor, the site, and Twitter, and we'll announce it on there.
Love that. I'm very excited. I can't wait.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robby Sabo of Jets X Factor, our guest right there on the show. Hit the like button, comments, questions, your super chats. They will cut the line. I appreciate everyone who's tuned into our show. We're going to get to more of your calls coming up shortly. But first, let me talk about my sponsor, PrizePicks. They are the presenting sponsor. I just wanted to share this. Finally hit on not one, but two PrizePick lineup entries yesterday around the Yankees-Angels game. That was an absolute wild one. Judge and Trout each with 2 home runs. Grisham off the bench with 2 home runs. But hey, I needed some hits from Trout and Judge. Success. Needed some hits from Nito, Rosario, and Stanton. Success. So yesterday I turned $15 into $32.50 and had a lot of fun doing it. Make your own picks over at PrizePicks. If you use the code HMA, if you put in $5, you're going to get $50 instantly to play around with your lineups. So check it out. Shout out to PrizePicks. I'll have some more picks for the afternoon show today for some of the games this evening. Mets right now can't hit, so I would recommend you not picking any Met player to have a hit. They have not scored in 20 innings, but I don't need to tell the diehard Met fans that. So I recommend not picking any Met to hit, maybe going a little lower on their projected hit totals over at PrizePicks. So that's my word of advice. Again, follow my PrizePick feed at Jake Asman. PrizePicks, shout out to them for sponsoring our show. What I pulled now is some film on a couple of the receivers. I want to roll this in, and then we're going to get right back to your calls. We've been debating Tate, Tyson, Lemon. This is courtesy of the Athletics, the Beast. Here's the breakdown on Jordan Tyson.
Arizona State's Jordan Tyson has all the tools to be a legit #1 receiver in the NFL. He's lightning quick, varying his releases against press. He doesn't have long speed, but he creates separation with an explosive first step. Tyson is 6'2", 200 pounds. He can be a true X that can play on the line of scrimmage because of his very advanced release package, but he can also move inside and be used as a power slot. He's twitchy and does an excellent job of attacking leverage, blind spots, and using moves at the top of his routes. He's not a big yak receiver, and injury concerns are real. He's missed 17 out of 51 games due to injuries. First play we're going to look at, 4th down, press coverage on the goal line. Tyson's going to want to go outside, but he's going to ooze inside first and take a basketball crossover, shake his DB, create separation, and catch a touchdown. Second play, again, we have press coverage. He's going to run a go route. You're going to see him ooze up to the line of scrimmage, close that space, and take a speed release upfield. Defender doesn't touch him, and he's able to get open on a go route for another touchdown. One of Tyson's best traits is his willingness to go up for the ball against traffic. He does a good job of routinely high pointing the ball and catching with strong hands. Tyson does a good job of closing the space on a safety, using a move at the top of his route. He's going to go inside and back outside and go up for the ball once again. And one of my favorite things about Tyson is he does a really good job of attacking leverage and attacking a defender's blind space. Here he wants to go inside, but he's going to go outside to the defender's blind space before cutting inside and catching the ball through traffic once again. Stylistically, Tyson reminds me a lot of Davante Adams. Killer against press, not overly athletic, but creates separation with craftiness and acceleration.
Who wouldn't want Davante Adams, huh? We gave you Tyson. Here's the quick breakdown on Carnell Tate.
Carnell Tate could be the first receiver taken in this year's draft. He was a big play specialist at Ohio State, but he still has room left to grow. Tate had 14 receptions of over 20 yards as a #2 receiver to Jeremiah Smith, who is a generational receiver prospect when he declares. Tate takes some time to build up speed, but he does an excellent job of using shoulder fakes without losing speed on double moves. He also can suddenly drop his hips and smoothly gets in and out of breaks on intermediate routes. The biggest thing he needs to work on is beating press coverage. He can get impatient and doesn't do a good job of setting up his moves. Once he gets jammed, he has a hard time getting off of it. One of Tate's best traits is his strong, reliable hands. He catches almost everything that comes his way. On this play, he wants to get inside of a corner playing with inside leverage. He gets flat, gets inside of him, the ball's thrown low, but he effortlessly adjusts and digs the ball out. On this play, Tate is lined up inside. He wants to go outside, so he takes an inside release. You can see he doesn't lose any speed on his cut. The defensive back tries to slow him down with the grab, but he's still able to get outside of him and finish a catch. When you watch Tate, he doesn't have an explosive first step, but he gets faster as he gets more into the route. Tate's game is similar to George Pickens. Both are perimeter receivers that take time to build up speed and have elite ball tracking ability and are both big play creators.
So some film on each of the two receivers we've been discussing a lot of. I gifted a membership during that. I want to get some people a chance to win a signed Keyshawn Johnson helmet, as we're spending a lot of time today on our shows talking wide receiver. We're going to do a film breakdown with Joe Blewett in the afternoon today with KC Concepcion from Texas A&M and Omar Cooper Jr. from Indiana, two of the other receivers that the Jets have been linked to either at 16 or potentially 33 or 44. So I gifted one membership to put someone in the raffle for a chance to win a signed Keyshawn Johnson jersey, and that went to listener Bubba Homeschool. Bubba, you're in the raffle for one.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, baby.
Black Gypsy has gifted one channel membership. He is now in the ASMANIAC raffle for one. That went to listener Justin Mater. Shout out to Justin Mater, my buddy from college, who got a channel membership there from Black Gypsy. And Doc Jet Fan in the house. He had a great call earlier. Our first 5 spot of the show. 5 gifted memberships from the Doc.
And here we go. Let's go. Let's go.
Jupiter 12K, D. Lito, Brandon McNeely, Wyatt 12828, all receiving a gifted membership, plus one more just trickled through, John Christopher receiving a membership. Also, I said Keyshawn jersey, apparently Stack always on top of it. I meant Keyshawn signed helmet is the raffle prize today on the show. All right, let's get to some of your calls. We've been talking about this guy because he's in action this afternoon in the Sweet 16. First up today is a man who headlines a region on the show that we call the Extraordinary Region. Ladies and gentlemen, we say hello to Gary 3D Boxing.
Extraordinary. Extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. It's quite extraordinary. Quite extraordinary. You know, women shouldn't vote. Just do laundry and vacuum. Extraordinary.
What's up, Jake?
Hello, Gary.
I didn't really have much. I know that Brigham wanted me to call in. I had a couple questions for Sabo, but I missed Sabo. I don't really have much. How's everything going, Jake? How's your? Oh, you have a couple comments on Charles Gorman, but how's everything going, Jake?
Would you say he's not a grown ass man?
I would say he is a grown ass man. Whether or not he acts like a grown ass man is up for debate. But he's 32. I want to say. I think he's a decade younger than me. He's 32.
He's a handsome son of a gun.
I would say by
well,
any
Gary.
What was that?
I said I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
All right. And you don't gotta worry about the Mets, Jake. Just worry about your own team. All right. You don't gotta worry about the Mets.
I was giving gambling advice.
I made $9,300 on Connor Ben by decision Saturday. What's up?
Gambling, boxing, 3D Gary.
Got Connor Ben at plus 320 by decision. Easiest money I've ever made in my life. Yeah, I would love to know what I did to cheat. I would love to know. You're not accusing me of cheating, so this isn't to you. It's to the chat that said I cheated. I would love to know what rule I broke. That would be extraordinary. If anyone could tell me what rule I broke, right? I would love to know. Also, for Gorman, him showing up in an Uber that you paid for, eating, and then dashing without paying is an all-time great move.
Well, he thought it was all taken care of, for which, you know what?
It was.
Who am I to say it wasn't? I ended up taking care of all of it for him.
He's Charles Gorman. You think I'm taking out my wallet? Absolutely not. I got up the couch, I got the Uber that you ordered, and I showed up. I did my job.
The funny thing about that, though, if you remember, Gorman was insistent that I would pay for the Uber for him home, but not there. And we were like, what's the difference? Like I said, like I'll pay for one of it. I just remember he was like, I want the Uber home. And I'm like, okay, You got it, Gorman.
Okay. Yeah, what is well, if there's traffic in one, maybe there was traffic going. No, that wouldn't make any sense. You say, was one going to be significantly more than the other? Because, like if you take an Uber during rush hour, that's probably going to be more. But he took it going home. I don't know. He wanted it at home. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe his parents told they would pay for the Uber there. I don't know. But then the thing with the Jets, where he became a Colts fan for a week. First, I want to touch on that. I have a neighbor that lives down next door to the guy that I watch every Longhorns game with, like 3 houses down. And he's from Indiana. He's a huge, massive Colts fan. I told him one of my Jet fan buddies is selling out and becoming a Colts fan. And he said, I hate this guy. I don't know him, but he's gonna curse my team with your wretched franchise. And then what happened? The Colts went 1-7 to finish the season. That guy hates Charles Gorman. He blames Charles Gorman for the way the Colts finished that season. True story.
Well, he did a great thing. He really did, because the Jets are picking 16, and because of it. So.
My neighbor, I swear, because he thought when they got Sauce Gardner, you can go back and listen. The day they traded for Sauce Gardner, I called and I said, he thinks they're winning the Super Bowl now. Like, he thinks that's how good they are. Like, they're winning the Super Bowl. They get Sauce Gardner. They filled their hole with Sauce Gardner. And then they went 1-7. He hates Gorman. Hates him.
Couple comments I want to bring to your attention here. Kyle Clifton backing you goes, he didn't cheat. It's not really in the spirit of the competition, but it can be done.
I don't even understand. I voted for Black Gypsy twice. Is that like I voted for everybody? Who was yesterday's contest?
Yesterday was Big Fella, an Australian Jets fan.
Yep, I voted for Big Fella twice. Like it never dawned on me that
with 2 separate accounts you have.
I have 2 accounts. Do you know the 2 accounts I have? I voted for both my accounts. I voted for maybe not some of the absolute blowouts, like with 80-20 games, but like almost nearly every one that's even fairly competitive. I voted twice. And I think most people do. I don't like if you look at how many people are live and how many people have voted, the numbers don't really jive, which is to suggest lots of people are voting from different accounts. Like it
now,
never dawned on me
Gypsy
not to do that.
You broke the honor code, Gary. This was based on March Madness, which means 1 vote. Stop making excuses for getting caught. We would have never known if you didn't get on YouTube and say it.
Yeah, I voted for Black Gypsy twice. Black Gypsy, remember, I don't know if Black Gypsy's a man of his word or he's a liar, but he did quit the tournament, if you remember. So I don't know if he's a man of his word or not. But I voted for Black Gypsy twice, which means Black Gypsy is a cheater. Black Gypsy broke all the rules because I voted for him twice, correct? The way these people the haters who have an inferiority complex around me, like the way they just hate on me and they are able to separate themselves from themselves is extraordinary. He cheated. He broke the same rule.
Black Gypsy. He goes, I said I would drop out.
Yeah, let's drop out. So you dropped out, correct? You're out of the competition. I just wanted to confirm. I want to make sure you're a man of your word.
You can't drop out of the tournament. Like we have a rule. Like
He
you can't
just said
quit.
he did.
He said he would drop out. The committee was not going to let him drop out.
He said I'll drop out because he cheated. He cheated against Barbarossa
Because he didn't want anyone voting for him or anyone twice. That was his point.
But I voted for him twice, so he cheated. It's so illogical and so stupid. What do I have to do with Jets Johnny or anyone else voting for me?
Frank P says Gary would love that. Another way to win.
Well, I mean, he wants to drop out, but he's acknowledged that he's a cheater. I don't think you broke any rules, so I would say he didn't cheat. He actually didn't do anything. But like when you vote in the All-Star game 5 times from one account, and then you will go to your other account and vote 5 times from that account, is that cheating? It doesn't even make any sense. It's not. It just.
Well, the All-Star game lets you. They encourage multiple voting. We obviously didn't have a rule in place to say you can't vote twice. I do agree with Kyle's comment. The spirit of this is you have an account, you're watching the show, you're only supposed to vote once, but there's no rule that stops people from doing it. So
it never even dawned on me not to do that, like not to vote from both my. I don't understand why. I subbed to you from both my channels. Wouldn't they both get votes?
Again, there's no rule that says that you did anything wrong.
It never even dawned on me not to do it. It's not like I created 100 accounts to go on. I have 2 accounts. I subbed to you from both channels, and I voted from each of my accounts. I don't even see how that would be questionable.
Frank P says multiple voting is one thing, but creating burner accounts is another.
I mean, like the people want to show their support. For everyone who hates me, there seems to be someone that loves me, right? Like it is like you know, Mike DeRamo sat there. There were 800 people, roughly 770 or something like that, that voted in my contest. How many voted in yesterday's? 400? Like, guys, you got to do math here. That means almost everyone voted twice.
I do think people are going to be stopping by the live portion of the show that normally can't listen live just to cast their vote. That I do recall happening last year, where the Elite Eight, Final Four people like, I'll have to watch what happens later, but I'm here just to vote.
But you're talking about my Sweet 16 matchup against someone else's Elite Eight matchup. Why would there be more voters from my Sweet 16? Like, what gets a higher rating in the NCAA tournament? A Sweet 16 game or an Elite Eight game?
Well, you're like Duke. People will tune in to see you win or lose. You're very polarizing, to use that example.
All right. I mean, all right. Maybe.
Like you and Dave are gonna get people who maybe aren't that invested in this tournament to come out and about and want to vote.
I don't. Is Dave on? I called it because Dave called me out, so I didn't want to duck smoke. You guys know I love smoke. Free smoke, free smoke.
Oh, that we do, Gary. Now let me tell you this. Let me kind of set the stage though for you two going head to head, right? Because we've had a lot of great moments between you and Dave Brigga, but just to remind people on what it's all about, the back and forth. Here's a little best of Dave and Gary before they meet face to face. Hold on one second. Charles Gorman is shirtless on hold, and I'm not missing an opportunity to see a man's man body.
Get a shirt on. Go look for a job. Do something. That was a horrible vision, Jake. Enough is enough.
I was actually going to get ready to take a shower, but I did not expect you to put me on with my shirt off.
What are you doing up this late in the day taking a shower?
Well, you look handsome, Charles. You have a great shower, all right?
Get dressed, get a shower, and go out and hit the pavement.
That's why he's a one seat, folks. Did you shave?
Yes, I'll be fine. I've been through worse.
I don't think you want to just walk around with blood on your face.
I'm a little bit overweight. Dave Brigga hates my guts.
Dave writes in, I don't hate you, Charles. That's not accurate. I care for your long-term success. You need to get ambitious.
You're the same guy that called me a bum on the Nick Shine show.
You did say F you to him, did you not?
Yes. Fuck you, Dave Brigga, because I was mad at him.
Whoa! That clip partially involving Charles Gorman, who Gary brought up earlier. I have more, though, before these two meet face-to-face.
No, you're wrong. Wow, what the? Oof, that hurt. Where am I? The moon? Seriously?
We take you back to how the one-punch order started.
Listen, pig mouth, shut up. Keep your mouth shut. Number one, when you call people old, this is what you get.
You don't scare me. You don't scare me. You don't scare me, Dave. You're always going to see this face. All right? I'm always going to be right into Jake. No matter who's the Jet quarterback, I'm always going to be here. You know what I mean? I'm trying to run me out of the show.
You're an idiot. You don't know anything about football. You never did. Mr. Zero. Mr. Zero. There he is.
I'm serious.
Mr. Zero. That's you. You have bad Wi-Fi. Take that hat off. Put that Jets hat on. Let's see it. Come on. Get that cap on. Go to work. Are you work? You know how to work?
Nice in the afternoon, baby. Who wants to ask me a question in the chat?
It's all I need. One punch. One punch. One punch. One punch. One knocker. One punch. I bet you
give me some time by myself.
One punch.
Wow.
One punch.
Dave Brigga bringing some passion. Thank you, Dave. Passion. That's what these two bring, folks. A battle this afternoon that is as highly anticipated as any we've ever had in the history of the ASMANIAC Madness tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring them on right now, face to face, mano to mano, ahead of their showdown. It's time. Gentlemen.
What's up, sir?
How are you? Good morning.
Good morning. Are you biking?
Good morning. Good morning. Gary, don't worry. They may hate you, but I love you.
I love you too, Dave. It's all love. You're my brother in Christ, and we got to look out for each other.
And I love Gorman too. Why does Gorman think I hate him? I mean, that's ridiculous. Why would I? I just want the guy to succeed. That's it. It was good to see him get on the.
This is what I've learned about Gorman. Gorman doesn't like to be spoken to as if he's a grown man. He likes to be spoken to as if he's a charity case. So when you speak to him like a grown man and you tell him grown man things, he gets offended because he wants to be a victim. He wants to be treated like a charity case. Like that's all there is to it. So when you look him in his eye and talk to him like he's a grown man, he's not going to like that.
I know he's got problems, but he has to try to get off and do something. That's it. But Nick took him around. Hopefully things develop from it. But
yeah.
Anyway, I got my hockey uniform on today, fellas.
Oh, it's a hockey
Look at that.
uniform. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
It's the original team in Northeastern Pennsylvania, founding hockey team in Northeastern Pennsylvania, East Mountain Bears. And I got my I was the alternate captain. So
when was the last time you played hockey? Because I have a brother-in-law who still plays in like a hockey league for adults. When was the last time you played hockey?
Well, I sort of had to give. It was we used to play in a house league late at night. It was no check league. I couldn't play in it.
You got to check.
I couldn't play in it.
Checking is part of the game. Yeah. What are we doing here? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of the guys were. It was mixed. And it was younger guys and it was older guys, and sort of funny because we always played. We played it in no check if we got ice time. That's about it. But that was about it because one of the parents got upset when the kids were dressing like gladiators. Then parents started to buy them all the equipment. We had through the years I picked up a lot of equipment. But when we first started out, we used to use.
No reason at all. How does men don't die for no reason prove that people walked on the moon? Your evidence is that you were alive when someone claimed to have walked on the moon.
I was living then, yes.
What does that prove?
I believe in achievement. I believe in a space program.
You believe in achievement. Therefore, people walked on the moon. That's your argument?
I believe people didn't lie to us like you.
I believe in achievement. Therefore, people walked on the moon? He's trying to start a feud, but I said it. I don't think you're going to get the fireworks. Me and Dave are simpatico now. Me and Dave are brothers in Christ. I don't think you're going to get the fireworks they were expecting.
I already done my reading today on this.
Is that what Dave sent you? Is that the Bible that Dave sent you?
There will be a final, and it's gonna be on you because for many months you've crushed me with your taking your taxes.
Okay, I'm back.
Playtime is over. Welcome to your worst nightmare.
In that book you hold in your hand, it says if a man does not work, he does not eat. That's what that book says that you're holding in your hand.
You got no respect for women, and you still got no respect for me, son. I'm gonna maim you, tame you, but I can sure make a game out of you. Easy game, easy, simple picking.
I fully provide for and take care of 2 women. How about you, Beast? How many women do you take care of?
And this is coming from the Mr. Joykoff over here, Mr. Low IQ, toilet seat, brainless, hopeless, still got the lowest pissat IQ. Yo, not even a kindergartner could even surpass you. You're as low as that. Well, you know what's funny? Little ants are better than the creepy crawlers. Yeah, creepy crawlers.
He never really addressed that. He never really.
You don't know what creepy crawlers are.
Chapter 3 says, if a man does not work, he shall not eat. That's what that says. How do you respond to that?
You like to disrespect the disabled people. You like to think you're Mr. Tough Guy. You know what's funny? I could still do something called this. I can still do the crane.
Take a back seat for a change.
I can still do the crane, and if I was like Daniel Russo, I would actually knock you out with the crane kick.
What would be your advice, Brigga? What would your advice be to Beast? What would you tell Beast to do? How should he make
I'm trying to work with him. He's in a process of growth, but it's slow. It's very slow. Right, Jason? We're working. We're trying to get him working, but he reverts back to things.
I would say open up that Bible. Open up that Bible. Start with Matthew.
He has attention span deficits.
Don't worry about me, Gary. I know how to control my power. See, unlike you, you're not Longshanks. I can sound like Longshanks and go, the Welsh will not be tolerated. As I will say it again, the Welsh will come from here. The English will come from here. Scriptures from Ireland will all arrive at my throat. And remember, if I can't get you out, I will breathe you out. Taxes or no taxes, you will learn in time. Is it? Yes. Yes. You will finally learn that in time. Remember, don't play with Longshanks. And remember, an Englishman gets what he wants.
I don't know what we're doing here.
Okay.
I don't
Beast,
know.
take a break, Beast. Take a break. Take a break.
Laundry? Nah, I got a wife for that. Only women can do laundry, Gary. You can't do your own laundry?
I could. I choose not to. Thank you for the vacuum cleaner. Yeah, I don't think women should vote at all. I think that's just being silly. I think in your heart of hearts, you think that's silly too. It's just sad.
No, in my heart of hearts, I think that women have every right to vote, Gary.
Who should I vote for tomorrow in the election? I think that's utterly ridiculous. It took men 5,000 years to create this society. It took women 2 generations to destroy it. I don't know what the problem is, but I know that it was caused by feminism. Feminism is a work for evil that needs to be eradicated. I think it's the cause of most of the problems in the world. Most of them.
Really?
If you ask my wife, she would agree with you too. I wouldn't marry someone.
Your wife thinks that she shouldn't be allowed to vote?
She thinks women should not be allowed to vote. Correct. Yes. Make me some meat and then we're good.
Yeah, but why are you more qualified to vote than your wife?
Because men are more logical. Men live a harder life. Every single company in the world that advertises towards women. Do you know why? It's easier to manipulate women. That's why they advertise towards women. I'm just giving you facts. You may not like those facts, but those are all facts. Women make the purchases, women carry the debt, and they're easier to manipulate.
Gary, you want to know the reasons why females shop more? They take care of our families.
I'm a man. I have principles. In my principle, I don't think women should vote. Criminals should vote. I don't think unemployed men should vote. I don't think people who live off the government should vote. I don't think low IQ people should vote. I don't think most people should vote. I think the voting class should be like a very small percentage of the people.
So basically, the people that are the elitists would be the people that you want to vote, not the actual culture of people.
A taxpayer, someone who's not in prison.
In essence, you're saying that a woman has no value if she can't vote, because that means she can't vote for her own personal interests.
No,
if she's not in the family.
I think that the power to vote is the power to divide. So now you can divide families, which is exactly what they want. You can call it crazy if you want. If we eliminated premarital sex tomorrow, if no one ever had premarital sex again, most of the world's problems would disappear overnight. Women need to vacuum and shouldn't be allowed to vote. You can do music.
Fuck you, Dave Berger.
Whoa! I did want to address one thing real quick. I did laundry. It was about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. I did laundry. What happened was my son wasn't feeling well and he threw up like in bed. So my wife washed the sheets and I took the sheets from the washing machine when it was done and then I put it in the dryer. So I did some laundry about 2 weeks ago, just to put that out there. Did you ever do laundry, Dave?
Good to be a helper, Gary.
Yeah, I try to be because my wife was laying with my little man who wasn't feeling well. So I took the sheets from the washing machine and put them in the dryer, and I knew how to do it. Did you ever do laundry, Dave?
When I was a kid, we used to have a ringer washer. So before they had dryers. So my mother used to give me the laundry to hang up on the line outside. Yeah, I've done it. Plus, I've done it for myself, and I help my wife do it. Sure, I love to be a helper. We're helpmates, right? For your wife, you got to be a helpmate.
Yeah, helpmates. Yeah. She helps you what you can't get done. You help her with what
Gary, what do you think about? You know what? I got yelled at yesterday by Neil for I don't like the word Goombas. Do you like that?
I'm not a huge fan. I don't like.
I hate that. My father hated that word. My father despised that word.
I'm not a big fan,
and I don't like it. No, we're not Goombas. We're not Goombas. That's what's supposedly to mean, compadre, friends. But most people use it in derogatory terms. And hey, you were in street fights. To be called a Goomba by somebody that's not appropriate.
Yeah,
they're going to get it right in the smack.
It's a slur. I'm not going to get offended and bent out of shape over it, but I'm not a fan of being called. I'm just not a fan of playing into stereotypes. Like
ASMANIAC Madness is underway. Make sure you vote to make your voice heard.
Something tells me that this afternoon, and this is tight late, they won't be as cordial as the two just were in that particular moment. I'm not buying it. There'll be fireworks. It's Dave Brigga and Gary 3D boxing, for crying out loud. Couple super chats I want to hit. Last chance to get in on the show. Keyshawn Johnson signed helmet is our prize today. Mike Perez in for 2. He wrote earlier, this is all fun and games. I don't care who votes multiple times. Also, Gary didn't ask for multiple votes. It's called madness for a reason. Kevin Zerwicker checks in. What's up, Kevin? He's in the raffle for 2. Brig is like the father figure the Asmaniacs didn't know they needed. Doc Jet fan wrote in, you smell what I smell, Jake. Unprecedented afternoon ratings. Oh, yeah. It's happening, baby. Mike Duramo goes, I love it. I'm living rent-free in Gary's head. All right, more calls before we wrap this baby up. Let's say hello right now to a man who advanced to the Elite Eight against Leany in North Carolina yesterday. It's the big fella.
He's home, his bed is on the bed. That's what feels good. On the road, his smell is on the bed. In a dirty hotel room. He calls the show, his smell is on the bed. He's just more comfortable. He got a beard, loves the jets, super jets. Where's a big fella, sleeps alone. There's no room on his bed. Where's a big fella?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hello, big fella.
Yo, my voice is shot after yesterday, man.
You left it all out there. Well done.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. It was AJF's a great competitor, man. I want to thank everybody for voting for me yesterday. It was fun. It was fun. I know it's not the cup of tea for like everybody, but it was definitely a good time.
Here's your first look at the Elite Eight graphic.
That's awesome. That's cool, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody, man. I love the community, so it's an honor to be in this thing. Now, I wanted to talk to you about the Jets, okay? Because I didn't get to talk to you about it yesterday. Trading up for Tate, I'm not a fan of that, dude. Because trading up for him, I mean, I don't see a big difference between him and like wide receivers later in the draft that we could get. I don't think the talent level is that much different. He was the second wide receiver on his team. Jeremiah Love is all world. Not Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Smith is all world. But I just don't see. I think more of an option for us is trading down. Now, I don't know who we would trade down with. I'm hoping that it's the Titans, since we've done work with them before, and they really don't need Will Levis, and we really don't need Jamie and Sherwood, and we could swap, or the Giants maybe, because they seem to be into Jeremiah Love, and they want maybe to rectify the mistake of getting rid of Saquon Barkley. I don't know, but that's just my take.
They're going to find a trade partner. I'm with you if they could find a trade partner. I'd move back immediately. I'd love it.
Yeah, because if you trade up for him, I mean, that's huge. It's going to be a huge gap between our picks. We don't have a third round.
Trade back from 33.
Yeah, we would have to. And I don't know if there's a guarantee we could do that. I mean, the draft is weird this year, like you've been saying. So I don't know. I just think trading up, it's too rich for us. We have too many needs. That's where I stand on that. So
it's totally fair. Again, it's easier said than done though to pull off. Is kind of my feeling on it.
Yeah. Well, I just want to put my 2 cents in. Have a great show.
What do you like this afternoon?
I'm a big fan of Brigga. I like Brigga. Gary's gonna be tough to beat though. He definitely has a lot of fans, man. So it's gonna be a tough battle, but we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. But thanks again for everything, and I'm looking forward to going against the Queen Pin. The Bat Fellow will not be making an appearance, so I'm telling you right now, my voice can't handle another day of this stuff. So, but thank you again, man. Appreciate it.
The big fella checking in. Excellent call out of him. Reminder, Jets Collective this week will be tomorrow night. That's Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show in audio form, Apple or Spotify. Big thank you to all the podcast listeners. March was our most downloaded month in the history of this show. More of your calls right now. Jason is in Jerusalem, and he's next. Hello, Jason.
Hey, Jake. Comments about the ballot stuffing. I think everybody should make 5 accounts, subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, and make sure you vote from each one of your 5 accounts.
Hey, I'm just trying to get to 45K, so if that's what it takes, sign me up.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. And if everybody calls your friends and have them make 5 accounts, we'll make this the pyramid scheme, and not one that screwed up my Mets, but at least got them sold. God bless you, Bernie Madoff.
Not wrong.
Tyson, I can't see them doing it. I can't. I mean, I see. I'm dating myself a little bit with this, but I see a wide receiver like that. I think he'd steal Green, which was back in the Marino days. Wide out. They drafted one overall. Got injured in training camp. The next year. Never played it down for them. I'm not even sure if he ever played in the league at all. But it's real. A guy has that much problems with his legs in college. It's not going to get any better when he has the harder hitters and harder training in the NFL. And why would you do that for a team that has so many holes?
You would have to trust his medicals. You'd have to trust that, hey, some of these injuries were just fluky. It's not it's not an indictment on him as a player.
Yeah, but the injuries that they're listing don't really look fluky. We're not talking about like the broken fingers and the certain things just repeat itself. If a guy has a certain number of concussions, you got to worry about that. Guy constantly gets leg injuries. That's something that you got to worry about.
It's a concern. If he's there at 16, though, I do understand the appeal. Like, the talent is big time. Even if he's only going to play, let's say, 13, 14 games every year, like, on average, like, it's still a guy that is going to be highly productive, you would think.
I'm not against Love the way that you guys discussed it, because I don't necessarily know that Reese is going to stay here long term. He hasn't signed the tender. They haven't gotten into a long term deal.
They've said after the draft they're going to.
But he has to want to, and I haven't seen that from him. And if you have a generational talent who you think is a generational talent, and you are hoping that your quarterback you get next year, or even if it's a Simpson or a, hope that Nussmeier, Aller are good this year, you set him up with weapons. You set him up with a good line. The reason that Sanchez was able to succeed is because they did ground and pound. They had a tremendous O-line, and they had great running backs.
Yes, but I think that Brees wants to be here when they give him an extension, and I don't see the need to take a running back at 2. Honestly, even if Brees is not going to be here after this year, I don't believe in taking a running back that high. I don't believe in the value of that position, 2nd overall.
If they trade down a little bit,
that's a different conversation, though. And like, who's coming up to number 2 for a player in this draft?
Well, first of all, I can see KC doing it. I can see KC packaging their picks to get a dominant player if they think that is the end of the Mahomes window, the Mahomes Kelsey window.
So they would want more picks, not less. That's why they traded away McDuffie.
Because they weren't going to sign, because of the issues with the contract and the signing him.
Well, they signed him already.
You have one stud. You think they're going full quasi rebuild the way that the Rams did?
No, I don't think they're going for a rebuild. I think they're trying to, they were cap strong, so they tried to trade away expensive contracts to have more cost certainty with draft capital.
So you don't think it's better for them to have one absolute stud as opposed to 2 picks? I mean, if they like somebody that they're willing to go up for.
I don't see. You think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to trade from 9 to 2 for one of the defensive players when they desperately need a corner and it's a loaded corner draft, and they could take Mansour Delane at 9, let's say?
I mean, it makes more sense than the Browns or the Dolphins in terms of the teams with.
I don't see anyone trading up to 2. I hope I'm wrong on this, and that would be awesome and really exciting, but I don't know.
But one thing that I have to ask you is nobody's mentioned this, but what's the deal with Mazi Smith, the first-round pick that they got in return for Quincy?
He didn't play.
Sorry,
he barely played.
He's just he's not going to make the roster this year. It was not an injury issue. They thought they were getting.
Let's see how many games he even played. When
He's
the
just
Jets
scratching,
got
I
him, I mean, yeah, I don't think he played a ton. And when he did play, I don't remember hearing his name, so he didn't do much. He played in how many games? He appeared in 3 games of the Jets. He didn't register a single stat, so tells you all you need to know. He was a throw-in at the end of the deal.
Yeah, other than the cap hit of a first-round pick, it's seems to be doing nothing for our team.
Yeah, again, he was a throw-in, Jason. Like I wouldn't expect much from him. To your first point, if they could trade out of 2 and then they ended up taking Jeremiah Love, I'm way more receptive to that plan. I find it hard to believe that plan will happen. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gustbuster umbrella hotline right now is a man that we call Mikey Midnight. Mikey, don't touch a damn thing.
Hello, I'm Mikey. I'm Bobby's little bro. Have you seen Jake Graves? She's so beautiful. I love my boy Jake, but not in a gay way. I am so happy. I'm not going to touch anything, I promise.
Mikey, it's insane. I can see him off there. He looks good. He had his hands up. And then we go to him. Darkness. It will never make sense to me. Mikey. Let me try and bring on my tech guy. Maybe he could figure it out.
I see you, baby! Mikey! Mikey, can we hear you? Mikey! Mikey! I can't get a signal on him, Jake. No signal. Just roll. Go to commercial. Go to commercial. Just go.
I'm Beastbreaker and I love Harry Potter. I'm a magical fart wizard. Abracadabra, bitches. I'm gonna blast ass in my diaper. Get me a bag of dicks. Get me a bag of dicks. Get me a bag of dicks. Bag of dicks. Bag of dicks. Bag of dicks. Bag of dicks.
Oh. Is there something?
Let's try it again. Mikey, are you there? Mikey. We can't hear you. Can't hear you. No. What the is going on here? Mikey. It's just not meant to be with Mikey. I don't know. All right. Couple calls left here. Keep it rolling. I see the champ is on the line, but I don't know if he's actually there. I'll play the intro and then maybe he will appear. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
The only thing worse than the New York Jets is cheap ass shoes and head coach blues. At least we got Muji and some first round picks. Jake, my brother, I'm trying to get hype, but this team sucks. And Joe Bonesy needs me to sell new flippers to this fat dumpster fire.
Jake, my brother.
Mr. Bonesy, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Had a couple Alden execs in the building, so I wasn't partaking the entire show, but I was listening half-ass. I heard Gary and Brigga, and you know, Gary reminds me, like, his material, like if you gave it to like Dave Chappelle and said, "Hey, make me laugh," like he could make it playful, funny, but he has to be so, just so heavy on the opinion and not. He can't be playful, man. He can make jokes with his material. Like his stuff is locker room talk. Like it's like, dude, you could play light of the things he says, but he's just too heavy with them. So he'll always be either knock you out or you want to knock him out. So that's how Gary rolls. But I still love him. He's very entertaining. And if him and I need to see though. Before I start my campaign of Gary Gypsy battling each other. Gary can't give up like that again. Like what I saw yesterday when he took the headphones off when Gypsy wanted to battle, it was like, no, Gary, we need this stuff, man. What are you doing?
That was surprising to me because Gary, I thought, would always go at it with Gypsy no matter what.
Yeah, very surprising. Very surprising. But, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see where everything unfolds. My Jets takes, you know, I really want to get everybody on board to understand that we're definitely.
Joe Douglas should have been fired 2 days before he was hired.
Gary wants to address your comments.
Yeah, let me address. So I had made a statement that they said, well, if you don't have a federal income tax, you can't have a military. And I said, well, we had a military way before we had a federal income tax. Like most of our country's history, we had a military and no federal income tax. So then Gypsy comes on and says I was wrong. I'm like, okay, stop. Just what came first, the military or the federal income tax? Well, the military. So I'm 100% right. You can have a military without a federal income tax. The rest of it, he's just going to get emotional, babble, spurg, and throw red herrings out there. I don't need to be on the call for any of that. You've answered my question. I was 100% right. They were 100% wrong. That's the end of the discussion. Like, there's no more discussion to be had. So if you want to go on there and get emotional and scream and spurg out incoherently, go ahead. I don't need to be on the call for any of that. We've already addressed what I said, and I was correct. But go ahead.
Frank P says you're pouting again, Gary. Your thoughts?
Yeah. I love Frank P. I love this because you can see I love how I make everyone feel so inferior and so envious. I love it. Like all he can do is sit in a chat and like try to insult me. He won't come on. He won't call in because he feels intellectually inferior, because he is, right? And all he can do as a grown man is sit there and make comments at me. Like, this is what like a 7-year-old does after LeBron James tortures your team for a 40-point triple-double. That's all he can do. That's it.
He wrote envious ? Laughing my ass.
100%. 100%. He probably puts on his Gary mask at night and pretends that he may put his Gary jersey at the end of the night.
Well, Gary, I'm here for the for the laughs and entertainment, and you are top of my list for that stuff. So I just wanted to make sure that you are still willing to throw down with Gypsy in the battle. That's I needed to hear that confirmed. You know what I mean? Like,
it's always free smoke, but once the fight's over, it's over, right? Like the ref stopped the fight. I was 100% correct. They were 100%
They did not
wrong.
stop the fight. The ref was letting it go. You threw in the towel.
What was it? Okay, at the point that he concedes, I'm 100% correct. What else is there to talk about?
Gary, but the whole
there's nothing else to talk about.
But when you're in an argument, right?
We were in an argument. We were in an agreement.
Debate. You guys were in a friendly debate. Gypsy thinks he's right, and you think you're right, and that's why you guys.
He doesn't think I'm right. He doesn't think he thinks I'm right, which is the end of the discussion. We had a military for 100 years plus before we had a federal income tax. Therefore, you can have a military without a federal income tax because we did it for most of our country's history.
I'm not diving into your information, Gary. I'm just saying, save this for Gypsy. This is exactly what I needed to hear. Thank you.
Who do you want it to? Who do you want it to?
Who do I want it to? God, I honestly don't know, man.
I don't know either.
I really don't. You hear so much, of course, in this Jets world. There's no clear-cut number 2 quarterback, and there's no clear census pick for us at 2 because that's who we are as Jets. That's what we get. You know,
it just sucks that this is the year we get 2, right? Like, it sucks. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. But what I will say, Gary, is people have to understand that all the people who want Ty Simpson at 16 or trading up in the first round, Aaron Glenn needs to win now. And in my opinion, we are not, unless Ty Simpson falls into our lap at 33 and Frank Reich is like, this is my guy and I want him. That is the only way I see us even entertaining Ty Simpson, because in Glenn's position, we need to win some games, and he does not want to put the pressure already on Gino. I mean,
that's why don't you think he's going to do something? He has to win games. He can't go to battle with Geno Smith as his only quarterback. So they didn't sign anyone else in free agency. So don't you think that they're going to have to address quarterback in the first round?
They are. But I think people are going to be surprised at how we trade up for one of the guys who we talk about now on day 3. I think we're either going to trade up for. I think Drew Allar is really who
Drew Aller.
Drew Aller. I think that's who we're like. I think in my heart, I think that's who they're targeting, and I think they're targeting him in the 3rd round with a trade up, because why not roll the dice on a player who was at one point in his collegiate career touted as a 1st round top 10 pick? Or
if he would have went last year, he would have went in the 1st round. The Giants would have taken him over Dart, for sure.
100%. So the dice roll, just because he had a bad collegiate career, you could say a bad year. You could say he didn't have wide receivers. You can make up the excuses. He can't play in big games and all that stuff. But in terms of the pressure to not have on Geno with a day 2 pick at the quarterback, I'm not saying that like I back Allar, like I think he's going to be the answer. But in terms of intangibles and rolling the dice on a player who was at one point, it's like Gus. At one point, Gus was supposed to be a day 1 1st round pick. So like rolling the dice and getting one of those guys on day 2, or luckily on day 3, I think that is our strategy, and I really think that we're going to be targeting wide receiver at the end. And say for all the Ty Simpson guys, my man Neil, he made me watch the breakdown with Gruden last night, and I just think that the pressure it would put on Geno and the staff to like not worry about winning right away. Like, you don't want to rush Ty Simpson onto the field, and that's what will happen if Geno.
Well, when you say rush, right? They'll give Geno 6 weeks, right? Like, I mean, unless they're Owens, like if they're 2-4, they'll stick with Geno until it's over, right? Like 2-6 or something. Like, I don't think they're gonna rush Ty out, like rush him like week 1 or week 2. Like, I don't think they'll rush him like that because he's not ready.
We will. The fans. We will be
he
on
ain't
it.
ready like that. Yeah.
Jets, Jets.
All right. Bonesy, good call. Gary, we'll see you this afternoon. Home stretch. Bunch of you called in. Let me get to it because we're at the 2-hour mark already. Carlos is up next. Hello, Los.
What's going on, Jake? Just a quick question. I need you to school me on something. So, with the whole franchise tag thing with Reese, does that make him like undealable at all, or does that like because they picked up the franchise, does that mean they can't touch him or move him, or can he be moved?
Well, he hasn't signed the franchise tag yet, first and foremost. So if he signs it, the team acquiring him would have to take on the price of the franchise tag. They could also trade him when he's not signing the tag. They still have they have his rights because they offered him the tag.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking is because I feel like, with Mooj, nobody's really safe. I think we seen that last year, right? I mean, we seen Sauce Gardner sign for that big old contract, and then they moved them right after. So I feel like, it's just intriguing to me that they were whining and dining the Love Kid. I don't know if there's something to it at all, man. I know a lot of people like to say the smoke screen thing, and but I could almost see Muji doing something crazy like that where, Brees gets traded and maybe Love gets picked up. Not saying that's going to happen, but I can see Muji definitely making a deal to make something like that happen if they really love this kid. So I know you don't want to hear that, Jake. I know it kind of irks you a little bit to hear that, but I just throwing it out there, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, can I completely say they won't trade him? No, but I would be surprised based on all their public comments they have made, even as recently as a couple of weeks ago at the league meetings, where both Glenn and Muji said getting a deal done with Brees is a priority after the draft to get something done. So, I mean, if they want to completely go back on that, I guess they could, but I would be a little surprised.
Gotcha. Appreciate you, Jake.
Good call, Carlos. I appreciate you. Mikey Midnight is back. Mikey, can you hear me? Mikey?
Hey, you hear me?
Yeah. No. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Da, 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 da. Woo! Mikey, can we hear you? Mikey, can we hear you? I've tried, Jake.
Shit, look at that beard! He has a beard, he's the man. Ain't no Santa Claus. Papa Jet loves the Jets. He's one handsome son of a bitch. It's Papa Jet.
Hello, Papa.
Hello, Jake. How's it going?
You look like Neil today.
Hockey playoffs start pretty soon, Jake.
That they do. Congratulations to your Buffalo Sabres.
You know what,
it.
Jake? I tried to find a big Neil one, but I couldn't find one, so this will have to do.
I'm happy for you. You deserve it. I hope it means the Jets will end their longest playoff drought in sports next.
Well, that's what I called in for, because you know me, I'm a Pirates too. So I mean, I know people don't like talking Sabres, but this is big for me because it's, well, hey, I was double whammied with the Jets and the Sabres, you know. So, and not only that, I mean, they said it might have been the biggest turnaround, like I think December 8th or something. I don't know what their record is, but I don't know. I think they only had like 6 or 7 regulation lot. They're like 39-6 and whatever, you know. Not only did they make the playoffs, they won the division, you know. So now whether it carries over into the playoffs, who knows, right? Because I think Stanley Cup is the hardest trophy to win. It's a whole different season. We all know that. I don't know if their goaltending is going to hold up, but they're experienced too. But they're a good, quick team, so anything can happen. We'll see. Maybe they'll be like St. Louis. Remember the year when St. Louis, I think from January, they're out of the playoffs, but I don't know how many points. They end up winning the cup, but you got to get in to do it. But and also with the Pirates, Jake, I'm not saying they'll make the playoffs, but I think they'll be relevant this year. They got
have a good young team.
Talent.
Yeah, I mean, it's taken forever because of their owner's inability to ever want to try and invest in the team, but they are loaded with young talent, and it's cool that they signed the number 1 pick long term. Yeah, so you got him for 9 years.
Yeah, Skeens, I don't know, but man, I hate to lose him. I probably will, but I think they might push for, you know, they might be sniffing around the wild card there at the end of the year. I'm hoping. So maybe probably not this year, but Jets just got to end this, man. We just been too we don't deserve this, you know. But Jake, that's all I got. Thanks for letting me call in about the Sabres. And I was going to do this Saturday, but I didn't want to rain on Leanie's parade while she was ripping out my jugular Saturday.
Well, at least you got a team to root for in the playoffs for the first time forever, Papa. So I'm happy for you.
Yep. Thanks, Jake. And we'll call again. Thank you.
Papa Jet, ladies and gentlemen. Well done. Last chance to get in the raffle for this morning's show. Keyshawn Johnson signed helmet is the prize. Saturday, the weekly prizes are a signed Corbett football, Garrett Wilson autographed helmet, and Darrell Rivas signed football. Jet Nation says, am I off here? Did Will Pa and Tony Vegas say Reese was going to sign long-term soon? After the draft. That's the feeling around the Jets, that the Jets and Brees will get something done. 2 calls left. We have Adam, and then Kyle Clifton will close this out.
Adam is cool, although kind of basic. He claims he's too cool, though often quite basic. He makes great jet points, but looks a little basic. Adam is cool, too cool, but basic. Some would say generic.
Hey, Jake, thank you for not making me follow Clifton. He is a very tough act to follow.
You got it, Adam.
Appreciate it. I was just thinking about the running back situation, and I think Carlos raises an interesting point about Brees. But I think the other question is like, okay, we trade him. Like, what are we going to do with the extra money that we'll be getting? And like, it's kind of latent free agency. To be starting to think about that now. I mean, maybe Jawan Jennings, but like, is that really the play? It doesn't add up to me. I think Brees stays. I think the deal's going to get banged out. The only reason they might not do it is if the dominoes fall in a certain way where like if Kansas City was really hoping to get Love and then Love went to the Titans and now they're kind of like, well, now it's either corner or running back. Maybe there'd be some entertainment around a deal for Brees to them. I don't know. But anyway, it's very hypothetical. But thinking about more like real running back stuff, there was a number of top 30 visits for running backs that the Jets had. I think Singleton and Kalen Black were the two that they were really curious about.
Yep.
So it would not shock me at all if there was like a day 3 running back pick. I think that would be really smart. I think it's good to have 4 good ones because one of them inevitably gets injured every year. And hopefully it's not Brees, but if it's Davis or if it's Braylon Allen, it's good just to have another, strong body that will help, take the load off of Brees so that he doesn't get injured. And after we hopefully sign him to a long-term deal. So I'm expecting a day 3 running back, and it'll be good to add to the depth.
That's totally fair. They could draft a running back. Joe Douglas believed in drafting one every year, for example. So it could happen. Isaiah Davis's roster spot is not a guarantee. And honestly, neither is Braylon Allen.
Right.
Braylon Allen's a lot of hype to this point, and unfortunately it hasn't translated because he's coming off now the injury. So if BPA lines up and it happens to be a running back on day 3, I don't think that's a crazy take at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's crazy either. Here's a little bit more of a spicier take. I think running back in day 3 is more important than quarterback in day 3. That'd be a spicier version of my take.
Yeah, I just think they're going to address quarterback at some point. They're going to go 2 full drafts without at least taking a chance on someone. I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to go for it, go for the highest ceiling possible. Don't go for a low floor guy. That's boring. And next year's quarterback decision will really be the most pivotal. So, go for something crazy. If Aller's available, great. I don't agree with Bonesy to go all the way to the 3rd for him. I think that's, if we're going to go the way to the 3rd, we need someone that's going to actually hit the field every possession, like a wide receiver or another playmaker. I think quarterback at 3rd round is rich, which then gives you my opinion about whether or not we should be even getting a quarterback in the 1st or 2nd round, which the answer is no. Right out with 27. 27 is going to be really exciting. But, maybe Geno has a great year. Maybe he has too good of a year. That'd be a great problem to have, that he gets another comeback player of the year award. That would be a really nice target for him. But wishful thinking.
Again, from your lips to God's ears, Adam. Good call. I'm not trading up for Drew Aller, though. If he's there and they like him in the 4th round, all right. Do I love that? I don't expect much from him, but fine. I'm not trading up for any of these quarterbacks. Today's closer.
How are you, Jake?
Hello, Kyle. It's great to see you on Saturday night.
Yeah, it was good to see you and a lot of the other callers, some people from the Discord. A lot of fun. So I know you were saying before you don't see who's trading up in this draft. The point I've been making is I didn't see it last year either, right? And it really only takes one team. Who's the Jaguars this year that comes up and they secretly have a guy that they have to have. I don't know if that guy is someone that would go off at our spot, but we're getting in theory, we have the shot at the best non-QB in this draft. So hopefully there's somebody out there. It only takes one team is my only point. To some of the stuff that's been going on recently, it's weird to me that voting multiple times can be viewed as strategy, even though it might not be in the spirit of the competition. It's 100% not against the rules, right? But holding people is a part of the show, right? It happens every day. I very rarely, if ever, do it. I enjoy Neil's calls. On the day I was competing, he called in early to be a surrogate for Peter. So I can't use that as strategy, but voting multiple times, that's fair game. I mean, we're in it now. This is the Sweet 16. I'm trying to win it. People might think, Kyle, he's a nice guy. Whatever. I'm trying to win it. Like everyone else.
You want eternal glory that is winning an ASMANIAC Madness tournament.
I mean, I was at the draft party last year. I saw Bonesy holding up that trophy.
That's right.
I wanted to go take it off him. A lot of people did. But Only one person gets to. That's all I'm saying.
I'll tell you what, the hole is a part of it. The only rule we have for the hole is like no one can hold Gary or Brigga as they're making their case during their battle.
Right. So, and if Peter and Neil were stewing the whole weekend because of that, I enjoy Neil's calls. I think they're entertaining. It is what it is.
Peter Castro.
Yeah, it is. Well, he can feel that way all he wants. Doesn't really matter to me one way or the other. I appreciate your time, Jake.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Clifton checking in. Yeah, this afternoon is going to be fascinating. I don't know if Joe Blewett's ready for what he's stepping into. Kyle Clifton, Chef Kevin in the Elite Eight is already set. Making our way through the greatest tournament in sports. Leany and the big fella officially set on the left side of the dangerous alliance region. This afternoon, Gary and Brigga. Tomorrow, Bonesy and Gypsy. Thursday, Gorman and Cho. Friday, PBM and Party with Peg and Artie, which means Saturday is set up for the Clifton and Chef Kevin showdown in the Elite Eight. Your look ahead at the schedule. By the way, that speech from Bonesy is still going for those who are at our draft party. Oh, man. Tenacious says, are we getting a rule book next year? Yeah, I mean, look, we're going to have to do something to address some of the concerns from the ASMANIAC community. Didn't think we would need it, but here we are. All right, what a show. You guys are the best. Like the video on your way out of here. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Join my Patreon, too, by the way, especially if you're coming to the draft. You come to our draft party. You're going to want to join the Patreon. I'll be posting a ton of behind-the-scenes stuff from the night of the draft in there. So patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Big thank you to everyone that tuned in today. We could not do the show without your tremendous support. I will leave you guys with a clip that encapsulates everything that is this show in a nutshell. So sit back and enjoy it. And again, we will talk to you this afternoon. 4 p.m., Joe Blewett is on the show. Fireworks could unfold. Gary, Brigga, get your popcorn ready. Need I say more? Go Jets, everyone. And we will talk to you soon. Jets, 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 Jets. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Bass, and Jake. Get it started, Gator.
Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake.
Well, Sujas always cut the line. And the boy-lo dances really fine. When she's sucking and back them jets. My senorita, you know she gets real happy. Real happy if that female that doesn't rhyme. Hey, Gator, it's a family show.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake.
Did somebody say Brock Bowers?
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets.